your family are applesauce fans and you have an apple tree or apples at the neighbor's house, this is a really inexpensive way to have applesauce around for the whole year. You'll need apples. The basic rule of thumb is about 10 pounds of apples will make 6 pints of applesauce. For equipment, you need a canning pot, a way to make boiling water, a large bowl, a food mill. If you don't have a food mill, you could use a potato masher, a jar grabber, a spoon, a sharp knife, a wooden spoon, a chopstick, a ladle, or if you have a wide mouth funnel, a timer, a smaller bowl, a bowl that can hold boiling water, a cooling rack, a cutting board, something to hold the apple cores, a large pot, jars, lids and screw tops, a kitchen towel, and some hot pads. Wash the apples and then we'll chop them. You need to make sure you take any of the wormholes out, bruises. You can leave the cores in if you have the food mill, but otherwise you're going to have to peel them and core them. After I cut up the apples, I wash them again. Put the apples in the pot, add about half to 1 cup of water, cover, bring it to a boil, lower to simmer, and let them cook until they're soft and mushy. These have been cooking for about 45 minutes. They're nice and soft and mushy. I usually let the apples cool for 10 or 15 minutes because when they go through the food mill, they splatter. Now it's time to can the applesauce. First thing you need to do is pour boiling water over the lids. Fill the canning pot about 2/3 full of water and bring it to a boil. Add the already cleaned jars and boil them for 10 to 15 minutes to sterilize them. Ladle the applesauce into the jars. Leave 1/4 to 1/2 inch of airspace at the top. Use your chopstick to go around the edges and rims to get all the bubbles out. Dampen your kitchen towel and wipe the rim of the jar. Screw on the cap. Place the jars of applesauce into the canning pot, lower them into the boiling water. They should be covered by about 1 inch of water, and then we'll boil them. The amount of time you boil the applesauce for depends on the size of the jar and your altitude. Basic rule of thumb. At sea level, a pint would take 15 minutes and a quart would take 20 minutes. Above 6,000 feet, it would take 20 minutes for a pint and 35 minutes for a quart. Once they're done boiling, take them out of the water, put them on a cooling rack, and let them cool completely. While they're cooling, the lids will ping, and that means that they're vacuum sealed and ready for storage. Once they're cool, store them in a cool, dry place for up to 3 years. You can also season it with cinnamon, allspice, or cloves, and if the apples are a little bit tart, you could add some sweetener.